so we can put it back later for the guys who miss it. Cole's here, taking notes. The others can get stuff because they're late. So, guys, what we're going to be talking about tonight is the success principles, and this is relevant to every area of your life. It's a really important thing to consider when you want to do anything of importance, I guess. And most of what you're going to hear right now is common sense, but not common practice, meaning that people should do it, but it's the doing that they don't do. So we're going to be talking about that a little bit as well. But the first success principle I would have down is learning. All right, and let me talk a little bit about learning, because there's not a skill that can't be learnt through reading a book, practicing, getting a coach, getting a professional to teach you, all these type of things, right? There's not a skill that can't be obtained these days. So why don't people grow? Why don't people move forward, move towards their goals? And it's always made me scratch my head and wonder, to be honest. So I think what it is with learning is people spend too long on the how, and they get really bogged down on the how, and they think about how they're going to do stuff, and they think about the negative side of things, so the difficulties. They think about the challenges way too much. Whereas with, I think, successful people, they kind of commit first. So they go, I am going to do this. And then the how kind of gets attracted to them. And we're going to be talking a little bit about law of attraction today as well. So they figure it out first. And then once they actually commit in their mind, they'll start to see the opportunities as they present themselves. And it's such a big thing to commit to your goals, such an empowering experience. If you guys haven't done that, I really suggest that you write down some goals. Write down some goals towards what you want to achieve. Like if you've got no goals and you've got no vision, and you're trying to lead a group of people, because the old saying, if two or more agree on a common purpose, nothing is impossible. If you commit to something and you've got goals towards it, then the how will figure it out in the learning process, because you go, okay, well, how do I do this? Okay, and you kind of reverse engineer the big goals and the vision to the daily disciplines that you have to do to be able to achieve it, and the learning that's required to be able to get there, right? So when you're studying to be a doctor, and you go, I want to be a doctor, so you've set the goals, you go to med school and you learn the skills, right? So that's the process for that. But for success, it's different, because there's no handbook. There's so many different ways to become successful, and success, just as a term, is so relative to one person to another. Like, what's success? Success is moving towards your goals, I would have thought. And I guess while we're talking about success principles and learning, a lot of us need to learn how to obtain a vision, because it's one thing to have goals, but your goals are a reflection of your vision. The goals are like stepping stones towards your vision and what you want to achieve. So, like, a question I have for you guys is, what is your vision for multiple aspects of your life? What's your vision for your health? What's your vision for your mindset and your development? What's your vision for your business, if you have one, or your career, if you have one? What's your vision for everything? Because it's so important, and a lot of us disregard it. So you need that vision, and once you have that vision, you reverse engineer that into your big goals that let you achieve that vision, and then the learning process begins to be able to achieve them. But what you'll find is you'll have to reverse that in the daily disciplines, and once you get some wins on the board, you'll start to feel that success, and then you'll actually attract those circumstances more into your life, because you're applying and you're growing, and every day you feel like a winner because you're ticking off your goals, on your imperative and your important list. For you guys who don't know, a really effective way to manage your time is to split your days, and I'm talking every single day, into what you need to do to achieve your goals, and then all the other crap that you can get caught procrastinating with on the other side, and tick off the things that are really important first. and that's how you'll end up dominating the days. But so once again, guys, it's really important to be able to do that, and it comes down to being able to learn and being able to grow and become a better person. And how do we do this? It's one thing learning information, but then it comes down to success principle number 2, and it's the application of the information. It's the action. Action's the mother of all success. Action's like the thing that separates the doers from the people who don't. Action's the thing that separates, I think, people from who have a negative mindset to a positive mindset. But like, how are we taking action? Like, everything we do essentially is taking action. Even not taking action is taking action, because you're deciding not to do anything, which is an action. So having really high standards when we're taking action, I think, is really, really important. And that's going to help with our evolution as humans. And it's going to help us become the person, reach our potential, right? Like, everyone talks about potential. If you're in the sports, there's always people that get nowhere near their potential, and then there's always people that dominate and they weren't ranked as highly, and you wonder why. It's because the people who maybe don't, like people with potential, if you don't do the hard work and the application every single day, you're never going to reach it, right? And on the other hand, if you feel like you're not overly skilled, it doesn't matter, because you can learn how to work hard, and you can learn all these things that can make you a success anyway. So don't worry too much if you don't feel overly skilled at the moment, because if you're learning and applying, you're going to be able to get there. But I think becoming better every single day is so important to becoming the person you have to be to reach that big vision that we spoke about at the start. So if you're raising your standards every single day, but what does that mean? Like, how do you get high standards? I think it's just trying to do a little bit better every single day. So just maybe today you didn't drink enough water, and you now tell them to step out the front. Just getting some background noise, and it's really distracting me. So having high standards, back to that, and raising the bar. If we continue to just raise that bar, it doesn't have to be like, you don't have to shoot, like, you don't have to become an NBA all-star when you first get drafted, like, just for example, you can work through the leagues, you can come better, you can work on your scoring, you can get more minutes, and you can keep growing and growing and growing and growing and growing until you're at that point. It doesn't usually happen like that unless you're really, really, I guess, blessed with a high level of skills. So, getting back to the point, getting better every single day, and eventually, if you do that every single day for a year, you're going to be such a better, depending on what the thing is that you want to get better at, you're going to be so much better than where you are right now, which should excite you, because that means that you're the difference between your success and your failure, which I think all successful people have come to realize, right? So having those super, super high standards, raising the bar, applying and working really hard every single day towards these things that are meaningful to you. They're your goals, right? So you have to work towards them. They're not just going to happen. Jim Rohn says you don't drift to the top of the mountain. You've got to climb, and the climb indicates the work, indicates the hard work. So really, really important. Of course, and I talk about taking action all the time, so we might just go easy a little bit on that one tonight. But I think the next thing is, okay, so we're taking action and we're trying to get better, but how do we get better as a result? Like, how do we get better from this process? If you're just taking action, and not reflecting on that action at the end of the day, or the end of the week, or the end of the month, or the end of the year, you're going to really struggle to find the lessons. Like, people say that like, a failure is an opportunity for growth, or a failure is it's not a failure, it's a lesson, but it's only a lesson if you reflect on it. If you're not doing the reflecting, then it kind of is a failure, because you're not, like, if you're doing something wrong or whatever, that's fine, and if it's a lesson, you're going to grow. But if you're not reflecting, then you're not going to even learn the lesson. Does that make sense? Once again, common sense, but not common practice. So if we're not thinking about things and going, okay, well, why didn't that work? And really kind of asking the right questions to ourselves, and then identifying maybe it's a skill gap. Maybe you're like, I just don't know how to do it. So then you can go and find that information on how to do whatever it is. Or maybe it's an effort thing, and only you can control that. So then you might look at, okay, I need to have another look at my goals, write down some more that are really important to me, and really kind of say, have that self-realization that you're the problem, which should excite you because you're also the solution. So the reflection is so important. But when we are reflecting, guys, I think a lot of us take on other people's opinions and other people's crap, and someone's opinion doesn't have to become your reality. That doesn't have to become you. That's their opinion. And I say to especially my team who I work with, don't take constructive criticism from people who haven't constructed anything. Meaning, if someone who's broke's trying to teach you how to make money and they've never actually had any, never made any, and never been able to achieve any, then maybe you're taking the advice from the wrong people. If someone who has always been overweight and is getting fatter and getting worse is trying to give you health advice, maybe don't do what he says, right? So it's the same thing with success or whatever it is for you, right? Maybe it's business. Someone's never ran a business, never had a business that's done anything. Maybe runs a business, but it's small, run to a loss, and it's not doing what your vision is. Maybe don't take that guy's advice on things where he's not going when they're not going amazing, right? So be really, really careful of who you actually take advice from, and make sure that you have a really good mentor. Because if you want to achieve success, what I'd suggest you do is you hunt out someone who's had that success. Because what I do know, while we're talking about success principles, is success leaves clues in all aspects. Like they've done something to get from where they are right now to where they were to where they are right now. And that's the person, or that's what you want to emulate. Then you want to be able to learn through that journey and maybe take some of their lessons on board and learn from their mistakes, so you don't have to learn them, or you don't have to go through that period of pain and growth for as long as they did. Because, especially in my own experience, I went through what felt like forever, like 12 months, where my business in Herbalife didn't grow. And it was terrible. But I know people who have gone through that for 12 years. And it was only because of their experience of being stuck for so long that I was able to get out of my I don't know what you call it, like my lack of momentum or my rut. And here we are in the top 1%, So I learned the ability to take someone else's lessons and make yourself avoid them, I think is a really key skill to be able to adapt, right? And that's, I guess, what life is like, and that's what business is like, and that's what, because things change. So if we don't have the ability to actually adapt to those things, then we're going to find it, we're going to get stuck because we're not changing. And I think change is one of the absolute keys to success as well. Because if we're not dynamic, if we're not changing with the market, if we're not, changing our routine, if we're not able to have that flexibility within ourselves to be able to say, no, I know, or be organized. Let's say we're trying to lose weight, but we can't go to the gym because our normal gym time that we have an appointment on. Maybe we have to get up an hour earlier and go to the gym, right? There's always a way, but you can either have those excuses or you can have the results. But generally, they don't go hand in hand. It's one or the other. All right. So that's the success principle, guys. I hope you guys got a bit out of that. And I'm going to open this up for questions really quick. And the guys are just laying down here on the ground as well. So these guys might shout one over, but I'll be able to say it back to you guys as well. And vice versa. So if you have any questions, now is the time. I'll open this up so it comes up. Or will it come up?
What's your vision, Jared?
What's my vision? That's a good question. For what? Specifically?
Say the next 5 years
in my business. Next 5 years, I tend to not have them so far in advance for some reason. Like I'm a year-to-year prospect, but the next 5 years, I definitely want to have another couple of diamonds in my business. So that means another couple of people in the top 1%. I've already got one. I definitely want a president's team business just out of Australia alone, because so that's over 200,000 US in turnover out of Australia a month alone. I want at least over 150 supervisors, so people who are making anywhere, for you guys who are not aware of our business structure, anywhere from nothing to a couple of grand a month, part time. I want to be well over 20k, but I'm not too fussed on the pin. I want my check to be over 100,000 a month. I want to be in the best shape of my life, and in 5 years' time, that will be 37. So I want to keep working at that, and I want a really long, amazing beard by then too. Fingers crossed, eh? Oh, Jesus. Fan club. Okay, so that's my vision for my business, or my Herbalife business. Anyway, so to answer your question. Does anyone else have any questions? They might be typing them in. Don't know. Tell. I've got their cameras off. I've got no idea. These guys are like studying their notes. I know Meg's trying to think up some hairy questions.
How often do you reflect?
Every night.
What do you do? Do you write stuff down?
So the question was, how often do I reflect, and then what do I do? So I'm kind of one that's kind of like, I'm always thinking about things. Like, I'll be in the car and I'll be kind of like reflecting without even knowing about it. Like, I'm always trying to refine things, and I'm always trying to get things better, quicker, more efficient, cleaner, so which more simple, so they can, enhance growth. So all the time, but I actually spend time doing it every night, about 10 minutes. And I generally just reflect on that day, but then I'll have, generally on like the second or the third, when I'm setting up my Herbalife month, I'll reflect on what happened last month and kind of look through. I've just got like a little book, and I'll just look through that book, and I'll try to get the lessons and put them all together, and then enhance what we do for the next month. If that makes sense. So, like dedicated reflection, probably 10 minutes every night. Like, I don't think you have to spend long on it, because kind of people know if they worked or they know, especially if you've got a list and nothing's crossed off, you're like, well, I've done nothing today, and why was that? And maybe that's a lesson that you kind of write down and whatever. I think some people can get called a success journal as well, but I just kind of call it a journal because I write down a bit of both and what I'm going to do differently about it. And it's good because it clears my mind. So I might just be laying there in bed thinking, churning things over, which I do a lot as well. But I'm always like continuously reflecting and trying to refine. And I think I have my best ideas in the car generally. And generally someone on this call would get a phone call and be like, I had an idea. That's where that comes from. Yeah, I've got to drive around more. Become a truckie. Because I guess the reason why I am thinking about things is because I'm listening to personal development, or like the education stuff in the car, like personal development, Les Brown or Jim Rohn or Eric Worre even, or whoever it is at the time. And I drift off in my own mind into things that were relevant to what they're kind of talking about, if that makes sense. And then I just wander off, like I'm kind of daydreaming. Don't do that when you're driving, guys. You kind of get to Aubrey Lifestyle Centre. I'm like, how about you here? Yep.
Do you do that sort of stuff for your personal life as well, like relationships and stuff, with your kids, with your wife, that sort of stuff, or just business?
No, everything. Everything I've got a worthwhile goal towards, to be honest. So, and I find and what I neglect, it's generally, like, to be honest with you, it's my business, because that's always so front of mind with me. I'm very business orientated. But when I reflect on my result as well, like my personal result, and make that a part of it, I get so much better results. because I'm like, oh, I shouldn't have ate that, and I give myself a kick up the bum because I know what I should be doing, and then sometimes what I should and what I do are two different things. So, but when I'm doing that, I get such a better result, and I feel so much better because you don't find yourself like you give yourself a smack on the bum 3 or 4 times, and you're like, okay, well, I've got to fix this up. How much does it mean to me? I've got to set better goals, right? But definitely with my business, with my personal life. Yeah, I do, but it kind of depends on what we're doing at the time. Like at the moment, like we just went through a phase with our house where we didn't know what we were going to do. So I was writing lots of things down with that, like just kind of pros and cons, and that was really front of mind for a long time. So I was doing a lot of reflecting on that, and I think we made the right decision in the end, which was good. So, but that's an ongoing thing as well. So yeah, I do. I think relationships are important. So you got to reflect on those and make sure that you're moving in the right direction with that as well. But so yeah, does that answer your question, Bales? Can't really see you.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah,
We're
cool.
driving.
Cool.
Well,
Oh, there we go. Got one here. Answers mine too. Boom. Very efficient. 2 for 1. Cool.
I've got another question.
Yeah.
Is there kind of a great mentor? Is that like all areas of your life? And what do you look for? Mentor mistakes so you don't repeat it, or someone that's really successful, someone similar to you?
Yeah. So Meg just asked, like, having a mentor, do you have one for all areas of your life? And what was the second bit?
Like what do you look for?
What do I look for? So, not all areas of my life, but I guess everywhere that I have high value in my life. Like if I really want to get a good result, I'd probably go get a PT or someone who's really ripped to train me and whip up some food plans on top of my Herbalife stuff, products, of course, and get it that way. But I don't, because it's never been super high value for me yet, is now. So no, I don't. But anything that's valuable to me, I do. So like with my business, I've got heaps of people that I talk to about stuff inside Herbalife and outside as well. And I want people, like, for an ideal mentor, I think you need someone that you respect, number one, because you're going to be talking to someone. If you don't respect them, then you're not going to do anything they say anyway, right? So you need someone that you respect. You need someone that's done what you want to do better than you, or done something that you want to do before you, not so much better than you, so you can learn that process. Because if that path's been walked by one person, it means it can be walked by anyone. Unless they're doing crazy things that cost heaps and heaps of money, which no one that I've spoke to ever has. So, especially with the Herbalife business model. So someone like, and there's a mentor doesn't necessarily have to be someone that tells you what to do. Like, how do I do this? And then you do that. That's not necessarily a mentor for me. It's someone who you converse with and share ideas with and bounce ideas with, and maybe they get some off you as well. It doesn't have to be like a boss employee type of scenario. It can be like let's have an intelligent discussion about what I'm trying to do, and it's just someone to knock some ideas around with, like play a bit of idea tennis, like pop, 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 pop. And someone for me, just for example, like that is maybe Mark LaChance would be top of the list, my friend from Canada. Really respect him. He's had $1 million businesses before, now in Herbalife. And we're at about the same phase in our Herbalife business. He did a cut of 15K. I'm really close. So we're about the same page, same model. So we just bounce ideas off each other. Like, he's taken stuff off me. We've done stuff that he's done before and tried it. And kind of adapted things into our own market from other methods type of thing. So it's not like he's telling me what to do. We're just sharing ideas and and making each other better and having a really high standard of discussion, if that makes sense. So to answer your question, if I'm looking for a mentor, it's someone I respect, someone that's done what I want to do better than me, someone who I can share ideas with and come away like I've had a really good discussion. I think it's important that you mentor someone that you kind of get along with as well, because if you're kind of going to be disagreeing and fighting, it's going to be a negative experience. Someone that you value their opinion, I think, because at the end of the day, that's all it is, and you're still going to have to do things like on this sheet, for example, to be able to get anything. Like, information is just information. Like, the amount of people that have had good ideas, never acted on it, and worked 45 years, and paid off a house in 50 and done the standard kind of stuff. Like that's okay if that's what you kind of want to do, but that's not something that I aspire to do. Like, I know there's more than that out there, so I'm looking for people who have done more than that, right? So I'm looking for people who are high achievers who I can talk to. People like Quentin, for example, as well. If I want a vision injection, I'll talk to him for 15 minutes and it'll be done. Like, he'll be talking 30 president's team members. Like, every time we talk, he just kind of about what he's got going on. I'm just like, whoa, like, we're gonna get back to work, So people that inspire you.
Do you have mentors outside of business? So, like, some mentors for business and some other things, like personalities?
Yeah, I think with personal development, I do. So those two key things, because I know if you're not working on yourself, then everything else is done anyway, because everything's mental. So, but no one that I kind of talk to who's like a personal friend, more using the tools that are available to everyone, really. So for network marketing, I've been doing heaps of GoPro, the podcast I've been sharing with all you guys. I've been listening to them and listening to his audiobook again and that type of stuff, just to kind of see if we can knock down, like, maybe I missed something the first few goes or whatever, just to see if we can tighten something up or something and get our business flowing a bit better, or maybe that breakthrough type of thing that really kind of gets a lot of momentum in our Australian business. A lot of Jim Rohn for philosophy. I was sharing in our quad today, I think there's two different types of kind of like PD you can do, and one is like philosophy, so meaning like ingraining those thought, like if we're talking about being successful, like those law of attraction things that you, like, your subconscious mind is so powerful, and people don't realize, like, when you're having the thoughts in your brain, like, you don't think they're much, but they're sinking into your subconscious. So when it comes to deciding on what to do, you'll have no willpower if you're thinking about negative stuff or that you can't do it or whatever. Like, you might say you can do it, but you don't think you can do it, so you probably can't, right? So like for philosophy, Les Brown, Jim Rohn, I love Grant Cardone just because he's like an action guy as well. So probably those three with that. And then for network marketing, apart from outside of Herbalife, Eric Worre for sure. Yeah. But I think if you refine your philosophy every single day and it just keeps getting better and better in that regards, then you're just going to attract the rest. Like the rest, and people say attraction, you're not just, like, if you've got a really good philosophy, you're not going to be sitting on your hands waiting for things to happen, are you? So, like, empower everything. Cool. Cool. All right, guys, we might leave that there unless someone wants to unmute themselves right now and ask a question. Thanks for logging on. Hopefully you guys got some good stuff out of that. And no questions here. Cool. All right, guys. Have a good night. See ya.